Will Montgomery here with Josh Bakan. It's time for the Varsity 845 Fall Sports Wrap-Up Show. I'm going to take a run through all the sports, kind of give you the basics on what happened this year, and then Josh is going to take you through the top 5 moments in Section 9 football. We'll start with volleyball. Pine Bush won its 13th Section 9 title in Class AA in the last 14 years. Bushmen then went on to the state finals for the first time in program history. Even though they were losers in the state championship round, still a historic season from Pine Bush in volleyball. In girls tennis, Goshen 8th grader Jane Bachman. She won both the Orange County and Section 9 championships. She's only 12 years old, so good job there by Jane. Probably more championships to come in her future. Cornwall's Mackenzie Milano and Shirali Patel were the Section 9 doubles champions. In girls swimming and diving, it was the year of Washingtonville. The Wizards won the regular season title, they won the Orange County meet, and they won the Section 9 meet. Really big things from Washingtonville all season long. Individually in swimming, Minnesink Valley junior Aaron Clifford placed 4th in the states in diving. New Paltz senior Caroline Murphy was 4th in the backstroke at the state meet. In cross country, the state meet was at Monroe Woodbury this year. It rotates around the state every year. This time it was at Monroe. Big event, tons of runners, coaches, spectators. Everything went smoothly there, so good job by Monroe hosting that. Among the local highlights, O'Neill's Liam Neary placed 7th in Class C, and Cornwall's Victoria Caroli placed 8th in Class B. This coming off a season, she missed most of her junior year with injuries and illness, so that's a really good comeback there. In boys soccer, we had Monroe Woodbury winning a 3rd straight AA title in Section 9. Mount Academy, in just its 2nd year of the varsity program, the Eagles won a 2nd straight Class D title. But really the story of the year, boys soccer this year was Cornwall. Cornwall and Goshen split the Division III regular season title. Of course, they meet again in the Section 9 championship game. Cornwall keeper Paul Martini makes a big save in penalty kicks. Cornwall advances 6-5. Then, in the opening round of the state playoffs, Jacob Schulman scores 2 goals in the last 7 minutes as Cornwall advances past Vestal. Cornwall got knocked out in the next round, but still a really good run there from the Green Dragons, who are playing in the state tournament for the first time since 2007. And in girls soccer, it was kind of a heartbreaking end to the season for 2 teams. Monroe Woodbury and Goshen both went down by 1-0 scores in the state semifinal round. Both those teams had chances, just couldn't find a goal. A real tough way to go out, especially for Goshen, which had won 3 straight Section 9 Class A titles. That team had 17 seniors, so that will be a new-look Goshen team next fall, although Monroe Woodbury did have a lot of youth, so I think you can expect some big things out of the Crusaders in the years to come. So that's it on the other fall sports. Now we turn it over to Josh, who's going to break down the top 5 moments in Section 9 football this past fall.
Yep, a lot to choose from this year. At number 5, we have Valley Central, and there's a lot to point to with this team in general as far as good stories. They won their first division title since '68, but I like to point to their regular season matchup against Minnesink, their 15-13 win, which maybe not everyone saw coming. It was really hard fought. They weren't necessarily known as a defensive team going in Valley Central, but we got an interception from Kenny Gray. We got an interception on a 2-point attempt from Donovan Murphy, which pretty much saved the game for Valley Central. And then Minnesink had an excellent offensive stand toward the end of the game that got to the 9-yard line, but it was called back for a holding call. So you really didn't know who was going to win that one until the final few seconds. At number 4, we have the Erie Bell game. Specifically, Middletown's Jordan Bryan, who is hard enough to stop at running back, was even more difficult to stop as a quarterback. He took direct snaps for Middletown, and he turned a 13-0 deficit to a 21-13 win. He ended that game with 39 carries for 327 yards and 3 touchdowns. And at number 3, we have Monroe Woodbury's Josh Cordero, who hadn't played any offense in high school before this year, becoming a wide receiver and one of the best wide receivers in Section 9. He ended the year with 26 receptions for 672 yards, and that yardage is among Section 9's leaders, so really kind of came out of nowhere there. And at number 2, we have Monroe again, but this time it's Newburgh getting revenge. Monroe had beaten Newburgh 24-20 earlier in the regular season, but Then Newburgh played a nearly flawless game to win the sectional title, 23-0 on all ends of the ball, pretty much mistake-free. And number 1, pretty easy decision here, Liberty, who had missed the playoffs last year, becomes Section 9's last team standing, the only team in Section 9 to make the state semifinals this year. A lot of great moments. They had the season-opening duel against Millbrook, and then they shut out Chester in the rain. Then they shut out Millbrook, and then defeated Dobbs Ferry in the state quarterfinals. So a lot of great moments from them, but in general, Liberty is the top story in Section 9 football this year.
All right, that's going to do it for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Will Montgomery. That's Josh Bakan. We got some fall sports all-star teams coming out in the paper this week, swimming and tennis. The rest will be on their way shortly. We've also got all sorts of winter sports coverage coming up, including boys basketball preview and Sunday's paper, so look out for that.